Watermark ballots in over 12 states have been part of a huge Trump and military white hat sting operation. And Biden crime family and ballot fraud co-conspirators, elected officials, bureaucrats, social media censorship mongers, fake streaming media reporters, etc., are being arrested and detained for ballot fraud right now and over coming days, and will be living in barges off Gitmo to face military tribunals for sedition. Molly, Ginny.
I kind of hope it's true.
Boom, mama. Some idea of what just went down. This was from Wednesday, January 27th, 12:30, U.S. military at the White House arresting Congress. And I'm guessing this was last night. Special operations units, including 4,000 deputized National Guard soldiers, remember they did that, acting as U.S. Marshals. And U.S. Marshals, remember, are the only ones that can arrest federal employees like the president.
Yes, ma'am.
Have served indictments on or were about to arrest 67% of Congress. Early Monday morning, January 25th, between 3 and 6 a.m., military vans, buses, and police cars, along with a multitude of police and military troops, were very busy at a blacked-out White House. I just watched everyone in the White House arrested, declared an unnamed person doing one of the two videos shown below, and I'll show you that in just a moment. See, even though the mass media has refused to report it, the U.S. has been functioning under martial law since Saturday, January 9th. An interim military U.S. government was actually running the U.S., and they saw President Biden as a treasonous agent. Well, of course, remember the Act of 1871. Right after Civil War, we had no money, and the Rockefellers, I think, pushed through, the bankers, the treasonous Act of 1871 through Congress, which made the United States, D.C. was a corporation, and we've been operating as a corporation ever since. And so,
what's everyone heard about
the District
this?
of Columbia
It's a little bit older
a
video.
foreign area right now.
Correct.
A few days before Joe Biden's inauguration, and due to foreign interference in the 2020 presidential election, Trump had instigated the
in fact, many of you seen this video. You know what? Guys, it's 6 minutes. You got time? I'm going to run it real quick. She's actually going to tell you how she actually went into the Oval Office in front of H.W. Bush and tricked him. And that was 30 years ago. Let me just run this real quick.
One of the things that was going on when I was chief of disguise was an enormous research program into the new advanced disguise system. It was basically the masks.
Yeah, I'm just wondering about the details of this. Is any of this, what's going on with it? I was going to include this. I played this before I got onto the Somalia stuff a little bit later.
That everybody always wondered if we used masks,
Charles.
and this was the beginning. This is a series of photographs of when I met George H.W. Bush in the Oval Office and revealed to him that I was briefing him wearing a mask.
Hey, Tammy. We're getting hit with a snowstorm right now.
Now, in particular, and regarding this photograph, it is a Getty's image photograph. If you go to the link, you can see the photographer, all those kinds of details, who took it. So what is the anomaly with this particular photograph?
Yeah, some people have been losing power, so if I cut off, it's either the internet cut me off or the power got cut off.
Do you have any people paid by the CIA who are working for television networks? This, I think, gets into the kind of getting into the details, Mr. Chairman, that I'd like to get into in executive session.
I don't trust our own government, I know that.
It's vaxxed or masked.
It was a big challenge to come up with something that finally actually animated and worked to really fool a person but we did.
They learned the art.
We actually brought Hollywood back into our labs at one point to look at what we had done, and they were stunned. They're absolutely stunned.
Congratulations.
My husband was Tony Mendez.
Well, they can do it with AI, but I don't know. This is food for thought.
And he was played by Ben Affleck in the movie called Argo.
Aliens and robots?
Yes, sir.
You're telling me that there is a movie company in Hollywood right now that is funded by the CIA?
Yes, sir.
Are there many actors in Hollywood who also moonlight as agents, do you think?
I think there are probably quite a few, yes. I think probably Hollywood is full of CIA agents, and we just don't know it. And I wouldn't be surprised at all to discover that this was extremely common.
Tony, they didn't mention it in the movie, but Tony had deep connections to Hollywood, to the tradespeople out in LA that did a lot of things we were interested in doing. Special effects people, makeup people. Tony was chief of disguise 10 years before I was chief of disguise. And so he passed on some of his expertise to me. But he had a particular interest in the magic industry out in LA. Not so much the magicians on the stage, but the people that were working behind the scenes to make that magic happen. So we went to LA and we posed some questions to them. We said, we have a problem. We're looking for novel solutions. Well, LA did have some ideas, of course. That's what they do for a living. They introduced us to a new concept. They said, what you are calling an operation,
okay, John,
we call a performance. That's what
I'm going to tap it into several topics, but some of it will be about the Somalia ripoff there. I did a one on Saturday, and it's really blown up pretty big right now. And I'm hoping they go after it and find out these people buying all these Lamborghinis and fancy cars with the money. Would run those people down and start checking into them. We need some citizen journalists, really.
we do. We put on performances.
You won't see it on 60 Minutes.
And before we start working on that performance, we have to define the stage that the performance is going to take place on. Then you have to know who your audience is. Who are you playing to? Who are you trying to fool? Once you assemble those two pieces, you can pretty much choose the time.
Everybody, how bad's the weather where you are? It's getting pretty bad here.
And choose the place and simply overwhelm them with your performance. Then they showed us some tools that they used. The one that really caught our eye is what's called a stunt double mask. You all know how they're used. When the movie star is so famous or so good looking that they can't risk damaging him, we liked the idea of stunt double masks. They're quick on, they're quick off. They dramatically change your appearance. And we started using them and found them to be valuable to our operations. But that audience piece of it did not allow you to get close enough to one of those masks before the illusion fell apart and you saw it was a mask. So we went back to our disguise labs out at Langley and we invented a whole new genre of masks. Masks that are so good, that are so realistic, that you can actually get up close and have a personal contact with someone for an extended period of time. They're good enough that you can brief the President of the United States in the Oval Office wearing a mask. And he isn't sure if it's
right along the lake there. They're supposed to get about 15 inches of snow in the next few hours.
You or if it's someone else. Those masks were the beginning of a whole new generation of work that we did at the CIA. Once we could make these masks that fit you so well, then we discovered we could make a twin. We could make another you.
Degrees, but
there could be two of you. We could actually make 5 or 6 of you, but usually one extra was all we needed.
We will respond accordingly. God bless you all, and may God protect our troops.
But that's only the tip of the iceberg, as longtime.
I just don't understand with Biden, if they were going to use a double, why didn't they use a smart one, though?
CIA lawyer John Rizzo tells it the relationship between the spy agency and La La Land is quite cozy.
So there you have it from the horse's mouth.
Yeah.
And, you know, I know many of you have seen that before, but it's worth reminding everybody because, you know, that was 1990 that she went in and briefed George Sr. And she actually walked right into the Oval Office as somebody else. I mean, that was 30 years ago, guys. Think about what we have now. Think about what they don't tell us about. And, you know, again, that's what connects directly back to this, guys. Read this article because this everything we have speculated
we did our
about
stuff early too.
From the mass to
just starting to get
the infiltration to identity changing. I mean, they even speak about their database of over 300,000 passports that they have that they can have.
If I cut out,
they tell you this is really lifting the hood right here and telling you it virtually answers any question you could have about how they're pulling this off. How could they be, you know, oh, you're telling me there might be somebody at my little, you know, in Hoboken, New Jersey, one of the people on the city council might be part of this? Yup, because they have 60,000 people to access. So, you know, Mike, great job, as always, on pulling this out. I'm glad you brought attention to this because, as I said, I think there's so many, you know, skeptics, and it's just, look, it's a natural question. So many people I've spoken to, like, no, I believe that we're living through a movie, but how do they do that? How do they do this? Well, when you inject something like this into it, it's a whole game changer. You know, that's not even accessing our own active military and special forces, which numbers into the millions. It's not, you know, you start to really connect these dots and you say, how are they doing it? This is it.
Yeah. That's that really is the final piece of the puzzle. You know, I don't know what else to present to people at this point. But, you know, like I said, in the scheme of things, it's not really important if people want to believe it or not. If you want to believe what is real and it's going to come out okay, or if it's a movie, I mean, it's still going to get to the same point. I'm just trying to give people a little reassurance. It's not my intention to inform 300 million people, hey, the military just took over. No, we don't want that. So this is just for our crowd. And people have asked, well, gee, shouldn't you be keeping this to yourself? Aren't you like exposing? Well, don't worry about that. Normies will never believe this, and that's fine.
Mike,
the obvious stuff.
And Mike, I've always said that, you know, I learned that very early on. I think a lot of us went through the process of figuring this out, and we tried to, oh my God, you guys are missing the greatest show on earth. Like, come on. And we tried to tell people, and they're like, you're out of your mind. And then you slowly realize, and I've written about this. I wrote an article about this on my own website. It titled "It Had to Be This Way," and it's basically explaining to people how they designed this operation with just enough plausible deniability. Like, I hate to tell people, a lot of the hit pieces that were out there on QAnon were put out there by the white hats, not by the black hats.
Absolutely. Yeah.
They didn't want, you know, there are truthers out there that are purposely controversial because they don't want somebody to have 10 minutes. They didn't want Mike King or Dave or anyone to turn into the next Fox News because that would blow the whole operation. No one would be scared if the whole country knew that this was all a show. It was always designed to be a fringe 1%, 2%. They needed just enough people like Mike, like Mark, like everybody watching here who could get up to speed on what's going on, learn what was happening, learn how it was happening, so you could start this grassroots movement, combat the fake news, and also have a group of people on the other side of this that could help people out. But that's why I tell people at this point, like you said, Mike, don't bother trying to tell people, you know, about the masks, and don't tell somebody that doesn't even know that COVID was a hoax that everything they're watching on Fox News is being done by the military. That's just, it's going to go right over their head. But this is an article that I would tell you, I know a lot of you have been commenting lately in the chat that you have spouses or whatever that are like starting to see things. If they're starting to see things, this isn't a bad thing to share with them.
Yeah.
Because this is not Dave or Mark or Mike, crazy QAnon people. This is Newsweek. And, then at least they could get a notion of how it's being done. But yeah, I agree with you, Mike. If you got normies like that, they don't even know let it be. You got, at this point, this late in the game, we've made it this far. Let them find it out the hard way. That's what it's designed for.
Yeah.
And until then, we all have to bear. It's not fun. I get it, but you got to live in those two different worlds. There will come a time where Mark and Mike and I will, be in the same room with people like this. I say this. Dr. Scott and I talked about this last week. I think a lot of us are in agreement that at a certain point, whether it's in a few months or a year or whatever, like people like Mike and all the people that have brought truth to this, will actually be in physical locations, educating people and having conferences. We won't have to all hide in our basements anymore. That day is going to come. And until then, let it play out.
Yep. There will be a hunger to know what happened, and not just
about Jonah Mendez, who is the CIA's. Her title was actually the chief of disguise.
I don't know. Food for thought. I wanted to see what everyone thought about that. Food for thought. I don't know. All right, I was going to play this about Canada. They're starting to deport people in Canada, believe it or not. As much as they don't want to, the Western provinces are griping so much about paying so much. They're taking 70% of their income and sending it back east from the western part of this country. It's getting so bad they have to deport some of them because they got so many illegals in the eastern part and some in the west. A lot in the west. You should see them trying to get on the buses here, where the illegals have come in and it's costing them so much that they're going bankrupt. They've gone bankrupt.
Country that doesn't deport anyone, and they're finally getting after it. They're
deporting small numbers, though, not big numbers.
Deporting some people, and that's good to hear. Okay, this is important.
This is probably
right here, and it's flying under the radar. For years, the Liberal government told Canadians that deportations were too hard, too complicated, or simply just not a priority for them. But
you arrest them and you deport them. What's so hard about that?
Now, all of a sudden, Canada's deporting more people than it has in years. Thousands every month. And they're doing it quietly. Now, this didn't happen by accident, and it didn't happen because the Liberals have decided to be responsible somehow. This happened because of pressure. A lot of pressure from provinces like Alberta, Saskatchewan, and from the public. Common sense people like yourself.
The pressure is coming from people that are paying for it.
Watching this video, who left the Liberals no choice but to act on this. And stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll see exactly why this is a turning point and why they don't.
Can everyone hear me okay? I adjusted the sound settings on this yesterday.
Don't want you celebrating it. Okay, so it seems like the moment has finally arrived. Canada is finally deporting people to the tune of 400 per week. And I know those are very low numbers, rookie numbers. We got to get those numbers way up, way up.
The worst state to live in right now is New York,
yes.
and nobody's talking about it.
Some would say
pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
But humor me for a moment. We're talking about Canada, country that doesn't deport anyone, and they're finally getting after it. They're finally deporting some people. But I'm not about to send an out of...
I think they're doing just enough to placate the people to try to keep the country from splitting into 2 and 3 pieces.
Attaboy card or an attaboy tweet to Mark Carney or the Liberals. This is because of pressure. You better believe they're doing it because governments like the Alberta government, the Saskatchewan government, and the people, public opinion has shifted in Canada. Canadians, particularly conservative Canadians, but even Canadians in general,
Thanks,
take
Charles.
any average person from this country, and they have a very different opinion about immigration than they did 10 years ago. because fancy socks Prime Minister blackface Justin Trudeau ruined immigration for Canadians.
Well, he was
Brought in
shipping them in,
way too many people in very little
flying
time.
them in any
And he
which
just
way
ruined it.
possible.
Everything from healthcare to employment to the economy, every single aspect of Canadian society became worse, and our quality of life fell drastically. So Canada doing something about it, that's good.
I wonder why.
They got to do a lot more, but I'll take this W and I'll run with it.
The Canada Border Services Agency is removing about 400 people a week from the country.
Good.
Pace of deportation not
More.
seen in over a decade.
400 people a week is not going to get it done. Not even close.
Overwhelmingly, it is refugee claimants, failed refugee claimants who are being removed.
Now, this is a leftist that's trying to keep the illegals coming in and keeping them there. And they're living off the taxpayers.
In these numbers.
This refugee lawyer says the government may be preparing for its border bill, C-12, which it hopes to pass in the spring.
Our concern is that it will continue to rise.
You should see Bill C-11, how bad it was. It's a censoring bill where they can arrest you up there.
Once the border bill is passed, and that it is a ramping up to basically prepare both for the increased number of deportations that will happen and also for them to be able to do them as speedily.
Well, I guess she's concerned because she's a lawyer. She's a refugee lawyer, whatever that means, and her job is going to go way down. Like, she's going to have a lot less people, I guess, to work with because they're going to be deporting fake refugees and illegals. So I guess that's why she's concerned. Yeah, good. Increase the numbers. Do it.
Removals dropped below 10,000 a year during the COVID pandemic, but have since surged back. The numbers for the current fiscal year are on track to set a new record high of about 22,000. The cost of all those deportations has also increased to nearly $80 million this year. CBSA says it costs between $3,000 and $4,000 on average to remove someone who leaves willingly without the need for escort.
Worth it.
When deportees have to be escorted out of the country, the average cost more than triples.
Just to be clear,
the Kearney government, under its border,
I guarantee it costs them more than $3,000 or $4,000 a year to have them there than living off the taxpayers with all the free stuff.
Plan already gave CBSA an additional $30 million to pay for up to 20,000 removals per year this year and next.
Of course, they're pushing that MAID stuff up there where to help you commit suicide so they can get rid of white Christians and then replace us.
The agency says it's on track to deport even more than
Iraq.
that. Not all deportees came as asylum seekers. Some came as foreign workers and international
Happy
students.
New Year, by the way.
Only to see the rules
I might
get
do
tighter.
a New Year.
There are just more and more people
thing.
who are
Look back
removable,
on
and we have
the
to
year.
deal with them. It's important to think about how policy choices create more deportable people.
The Kearney government has said it wants to slow population growth in Canada, and it appears to be succeeding. Canada's population actually dropped in the last fiscal quarter by 76,000.
That's about the same number that they committed maids, pretty close. What is it, like 80,000 committed suicide up there with the help of the government?
People, the largest quarterly drop ever recorded.
20,000 people is nowhere near enough. They got to do a lot more. They got to do at least 100,000 people. Trudeau brought in
I would say 500,000 minimum.
millions. There's an estimated 5 million people with expired status in Canada, which means they're here illegally. There's over 5 million illegals. And to those of you south of the border, that may not sound like a lot, but you got to remember Canada has a population.
It was Trudeau, the turd, was bringing them in because they wanted Democrat or liberal control. Trudeau's one of the New World Order globalists. They wanted a world government. That's what they wanted. They have to ruin the West in order to get it. And they want to get rid of Christianity. They really want to get rid of Christianity. That's a target.
Population of around 40 million people. So that is a lot for Canada. Huge.
Here's what makes a solar power
Sorry
station
about the
so
ads.
unique.
Especially
You
white
can store
Christianity.
everything you need inside your generator.
Male Christians.
Numbers. And anyone living in Canada can see it and can feel it. Every time you go to a hospital, every time you go to a grocery store, every time you go to the local Tim Hortons, which if you're still going to Tim Hortons for food, you're an idiot. Every time you go anywhere in Canada, you can see it. You can see the amount of uncontrolled immigration that has been imposed on this country. Okay, so here you have a video clip that perfectly exemplifies what I'm talking about. The fact that Calgary, Alberta's biggest city, is unrecognized.
Watch all these illegals getting the free buses that the taxpayers are paying for.
It does not look like Alberta anymore. It looks more like a third world country.
This is Mondani's type idea of the free buses.
Somewhere in India or Pakistan or something like that. Have a look. That's a transit station out in Calgary. Look at that. Look at that. Overcrowded. Unbelievably overcrowded. People are fighting to get on a freaking bus. Look at that. Look at that.
Watch, at least 20 to 30% of them are Muslim too.
This is beyond insane. Look at that. People are actually pushing each other onto the bus.
It's ridiculous.
Screaming.
That's Calgary, Alberta, my friend. Unbelievable. And this is happening all over Canada. It's actually a lot worse in Toronto, Ontario. It's a lot worse in Montreal, Quebec. Just a lot worse out east.
Yeah, the east is where all the liberals are.
It's terrible in Vancouver. Vancouver is unrecognizable as well. But Alberta is not immune to this.
Montcalm?
It's the same in Edmonton, it's the same in Calgary, the big cities, and it's working its way into small town Alberta. Take it from me, someone who lives in a rural town, very small town in Alberta. It's creeping its way out here into small town Alberta. Well, when I talk about pressure from the people, this is what I'm talking about right here. You got a tweet from Bruce. Deerfoot Highway, Calgary, Alberta. The trend continues to grow exponentially. Do you agree with this, Patriots?
I think eventually they're going to split off and they might become part of America. And I welcome because they tend to be more conservative, moderate to conservative.
Migration now. So you got people protesting over highway overpasses. Before, it was just two people, two guys. Now you got
make it really hard for them to steal.
It's basically the same message. Just send them back.
Voter laws.
Send them back. It's way too many. They're not adapting. They're not working. They're not contributing. They're only here for what they can get from the system, what they can take. They're not giving anything. They're just taking. Get them out. Yeah, that's in Calgary, too. Yeah, the message is clear. The message is clear. And this protest, this kind of demonstrations are popping up everywhere. They're happening in Edmonton, too. It's St. Albert area of Edmonton. Send them back. And speaking of pressure from provinces like Alberta and Saskatchewan, I made a video about 2 to 3 months ago in regards to Alberta creating the necessary conditions to begin deportations out here in the province. So have a quick look.
Now, the turd out there was kicking soldiers out of their barracks and putting all the illegals in there. And kicking other people out of their homes and forcing them to share homes with people that you had to allow illegals to move into your houses and stuff like that, make room for them to move in.
Good to grab our IDs and that we would be at the front gates and ID'd and questioned, and then some returned to work and some didn't.
The Alberta government is not playing games. Deportations and local immigration enforcement are now a reality in Alberta streets. So you basically had this situation in which there was a work site out in Calgary and CBSA, which is basically...
And I don't think they can get away with taxing them more than 70%, which are already taxing the west part of the country.
Canadian ICE.
You get some redistribution thing where if you live in Alberta and this and that, you're taxed higher and all the money sent east to the eastern provinces. It's some balancing of wealth thing crap there going on. That's why they're going to split off.
The people that enforce deportations and such, combined with Calgary police, showed up at a work site and raided the place. And like you heard that young lady there, some went and never came back. And presumably they got detained, arrested, and eventually deported, at least hopefully, right? If they were here illegally, working illegally, when there's Canadians who can't get a job in their own country, then they should be sent back.
Police and federal immigration officers paid a surprise visit this morning to the construction site at the city's new event center. The Canada Border Services Agency conducted immigration checks, which brought work to a stop.
But again, like I've said before, guys, none of this is a coincidence. It's not that the Liberals are now deciding to use
I would say to them, hire Canadians, don't hire illegals.
Common sense, or that they've somehow had a change of heart. It's the pressure. It's the polls. Polls are telling them that Canadians are just tired of illegal immigration and that they want to see deportations. And the pressure from provincial governments like Saskatchewan, like Alberta, is being felt, and it's being felt hard. Here's a clip from Premier Danielle Smith taking questions in regards to deportations back in the summer of this year. Let's have a listen.
You're saying about talking about fixing the immigration in Canada. Does that include also removing the immigration problems that are already in Alberta? Does that mean you're going to look at deportation? Does that mean you're going to take the stress off of our justice system with the immigration violence that is happening on a daily basis all over our street? Does that mean you're actually going to stand up to the federal government and ship all these people back to them and make it their problem?
That lady's based.
We first are going to see who leaves.
That's the Premier of Alberta. She's pretty good. She still doesn't really want to split off, but she's trying to fight them.
When their permits are up. And we already know that there's about 2,000 temporary.
I mean, she's willing to allow it to happen and have signatures in that because her constituents are really pushing for that, to sign the signatures and this and that to split from Canada. But there's a lot of these treaties with the native Canadians in that they have to deal with.
Foreign worker permits that are up and people have gone home. And that has been historically how it's worked. Somebody comes, they stay for a year, and then they go home. It's certainly worked in our agriculture sector. In fact, I think we would have a really hard time staffing our agriculture sector if we didn't have that kind of staff.
Stop aborting your kids, and they can work on the farms like I did when I was a kid.
Staffing.
So the reality in Canada for most Canadians, especially those who lean conservative, but even the average person who may not be political at all, is that the state of immigration in Canada is just a net negative to society at this point in time. There are way too many people who are not adapting. They're not contributing. They're only here taking and trying to turn Canada into the shitholes that they left behind. And Canadians have had enough. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Is this a good thing to hear? Should the numbers be jacked way up? I think so. I think they should be deporting a lot more people, especially considering the fact that there are over 5 million people with expired status in Canada. There are just way too many of them. But let me know what you think in the comments. Do you approve of this? If you do, hit the like button, subscribe, and share this.
For making these reports possible. I'll see you in the next episode.
What's everyone think? Is Canada going to split? Are they going to split from them and all that kind of stuff? Let me bring up another video. I didn't have another one ready. Sorry. Let's go with this one. This one's good.
All right. Do not remove this video. I am just reading what is said on a post by Minnesota Department of Human Services. This tea is piping hot, so I wanted to read it to you guys. This is exactly what they posted on X based on an article that New York Times posted about their story. Tim Walz is 100% responsible for massive fraud in Minnesota. We let Tim Walz know of fraud early on, hoping for a partnership in stopping fraud, but no, we got the opposite response. Tim Walz systematically retaliated against whistleblowers using monitoring, threats, repression, and did his best to discredit fraud reports. Instead of partnership, we got the full weight of retaliation by Tim Walz, certain DFL members, and an indifferent mainstream media. It's scary, isolating, and left us wondering who we can turn to. In addition to retaliating against whistleblowers, Tim Walz disempowered the Office of the Legislative Auditor, allowing agencies to disregard their audit findings and guidance. Media and politicians supporting Tim Walz or the DFL agenda attacked whistleblowers who were trying to raise red flags on fraudulent activities. This is a cascade of systematic failures leading up to Tim Walz. Agency leaders appointed by Tim Walz willfully disregarded rules and laws to keep fraud reports quiet, even to the extent of threatening families of whistleblowers. These same leaders are not qualified for their jobs, instead getting leadership jobs via Tim Walz's friendship, so state government were left floundering. DFL lawmakers refused to acknowledge fraud and deflected any serious conversation to stop fraud. Biased mainstream media such as WCCO and NPR showed absolutely no interest in covering fraud happening in our state. Programs, especially in behavioral health and disability services, were built without any guardrails against fraud, all in an attempt to extract more funding from legislature and the federal government. As staff, we firsthand witnessed and observed fraud happening, yet we were shut down, reassigned, and told to keep quiet, sometimes more. Leadership did not want to appear to discriminate against certain communities and were unwilling to take action, such as stopping fraud, that would have an adverse impact on their image. To date, no single agency leader has been held responsible for their role in fraud, and here they name names, whether it's Shireen Gandhi.
I know I'm hearing that there's stuff happening behind the scenes, but we've heard that before. I don't know, Rock. I'm hoping. I know that they said they've arrested 99 people, but none of them are the big names, none of the big names yet.
Jess Giel, Jody Harpstead, Natasha Mertz, Eric Gramdahl, or others. It is a structure created and maintained by...
I was listening to Wendy Bell earlier this morning, and she was talking about some people talking to her, saying that they're lining up all their cards to make it some major arrest on this. And maybe Tim Walz is one of them. But to arrest a governor, you better have all your ducks in a row, because the left is going to lose it.
Tim Walz, who has created an environment of interrelated agencies and institutions, including the media, that help foster fraud through retaliation and turning a blind eye in exchange for political gain in the form of high-power agency leadership jobs or other perks. Fundamentally, Tim Walz is dishonest, lacks ethics and integrity, has poor leadership abilities, and has never taken any accountability for his role in fraud. Instead, Tim Walz deflects by blaming national politics for his own failings and distracts the public with inveterate lying. These lies include his reference of a budget surplus under his tenure. Fact is, Minnesota never had a surplus. We had been given federal ARPA funds that were conflated as surplus money. Otherwise, we'd be in a deficit. Totally. And those ARPA funds, which were meant to be temporary funds, were used to create more leadership positions for Tim Walz's buddies. As such, we can't fight fraud in Minnesota alone, hence why we're appealing to the federal levels of government. We need all the help we can get, as Tim Walz's agency leaders have upped their brazen approach in covering up their knowledge of fraud.
I guarantee you they were all in on making the money. They're all getting their cut.
Are grateful for numerous solid politicians, especially the...
I think there's some reports coming down on the cars and all the luxury stuff that they were buying with it. And it turns out that some of the people in our, what's her name there? Omar is in on it, it seems.
Fraud committee and media outlets who are trying to halt this fraud. We are also grateful to other whistleblowers who are bravely stepping up. Thank you, New York Times, for bringing the plight of Minnesota to the national stage. Damn.
So here's the thing about that. I think that kind of stuff happens all over the country. I'm not sure why the New York Times...
Yeah, it seems like in Maine, there's a huge... there's a Somalia group, and there was some money being taken there, too, in the millions, not billions, but in the millions.
Finally decided to cover this in Minnesota. Maybe the pressure of people talking about Minnesota so much got too large because of the whole Somali invasion thing. But it's something to think about when you see these kinds of stories. So stay tuned.
Amen. 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 I tell you, I don't know. Let me think what you think here. Here's some more on this.
The 23-year-old YouTuber Nick Shirley, he has done more investigative journalism in the last week than the entire of the mainstream media in the last decade. He has fully exposed the Somali pirate fraud over in Minnesota, and it's, however bad you think it is, it's 1,000 times worse, and it's not even good fraud, right? He's going to these daycares. One was supposed to be the Learning Center. They're not even bothering to spell it right. It's spelled the Leaning Center. And none of these child daycares, he just visited countless of them. Not a single child at any one of them. So the only way all this fraud is being perpetuated is because the...
Yeah, Pat, I seen that they got a loan and they owe more than they just took in. The big donors are starting to donate to them to stop it. And if we can keep cutting down on all the government money going to them, all the money going to these NGOs, a lot of that was going to the Democrats for donations. We keep cutting it off. The more we keep cutting that back, we're going to bleed them dry, and they're going to have to really do something for their money, real money.
Government ain't even checking up on it. They are 100% complicit in it. That the Leaning Center, they've received over $4 million fucking dollars in just the last 2 years. So that's 2 years that shit's been going on. And people outside, neighbors were like, "No, I've never seen any kids here," and it got worse.
Well, forget a lot of these illegals out there. Hopefully they won't be able to vote, and they'll be afraid to go vote. And if we get real IDs and stuff like that on the voting thing, the midterms could go the other way, especially with some of these redistrictings and things like that.
From there, if there is a government assistance program in Minnesota, the Somali pirates, they got a fraud system for that. Nick Shirley found one building with 18 fraudulent Somali pirate businesses in it, from healthcare to child care, everything across the board. One building.
I guarantee you there's more than what we even know yet. There's more to come.
22 fraudulent Somali pirate businesses stacked inside of it. The whole building. Just nothing but Somali pirate fraud. The whole fucking thing. Millions and millions and millions of dollars to every single one of these businesses paid. And who's inside? Nobody. Fucking nobody there. Just one Somali that's just like, "We don't answer questions. Get out of here." Acting like they fucking own.
Mark, I think that money laundering is going to stop soon with the Ukraine thing. It's really, they don't care about the people dying. They care about keeping that money flowing, keeping that money flowing. They got to keep the war going so they can keep the money flowing. They don't really care.
The place calling us foreigners. Minnesota, I'm so disappointed in you. What an absolute shit show. You have no respect for yourself. And the government over there, not only that fucking retard Tim Walz, does he need to be in jail, that lieutenant governor's out there giving speeches after they uncovered all this, claiming that the Somali pirates are the backbone of Minnesota. They're not even a part of Minnesota. They're just over here robbing us blind. What the fuck is going on? How can this fraud? We are getting raped by every foreigner out there in the entire world. Our greatest allies raping us for money. Egypt's raping us for money. We give money to fucking Europe.
Yeah, and they're buying cars and all that kind of stuff, not just houses. Mark.
Europe and them worthless bastards. Every single foreigner needs to be shut the fuck down. No more foreign aid for anybody, and especially this fraud up here in Minnesota. Holy fucking shit, dude. Billions. Last time I saw it, it was like $10 billion. Somebody, I think, said $12 billion. Like, this is not some small fry shit, and they're not even good fraud plans. Anybody that could just walk in there, like this dude has proven that it's completely fraudulent. And the Minnesota government.
Did you see? I got a video a little bit later. Hopefully, I'll come up. I don't know which one it is. Where one of the people that was a whistleblower was in an apartment, and all these Somali women came in and beat the hell out of the other two women. I mean, they were stomping their head and everything. I guarantee you they're probably hospitalized, and they were laughing as they left.
It must be in on the fucking scam. That's the only way this shit could perpetuate. Is there no justice in this world? Is there nobody of any authority over there in Minnesota Sheriff's Office? How about you guys? You want to go start arresting some motherfuckers? These are blatant and clear crimes.
Yeah, I think to different degrees, John. If the governor lets it happen, like here in New York, I guarantee it's happening. California, guarantee it's happening. In some of the red states, it's probably happening, but probably to a lesser degree. A lot of these agencies, too, you don't know who's really, if they're real leftists running those things.
And yet we can't even get accountability for the low-hanging fruit that are these Somali pirates. Deport them all. Tom Homan, get your ass to Minneapolis with a fucking army. And I don't even know, shipping containers, stuff them full, send them home. We got a fucking problem here, and it needs fixing hardcore. And I don't know where the fuck anybody is at on this shit. Good luck to you all, because we fucking need it. However corrupt you think this country is, it's 1,000 times worse and 100 times more evil. Good luck to us all. Long live this beautiful republic.
The only way we're going to save it, though, is taking that down. Now, here's Tampon Tim trying to deflect. I don't think in this statement, but he was saying the other day, "Oh, what about all the whites' crimes and this and that?" I don't give a shit where they're from. They're stealing from us. Watch it, and he's finally put up an American flag instead of his state flag. That's actually the Somalia flag. Watch this.
I think what the president did was elevated. I do believe, and I will fully own this, we should have been keeping Minnesotans more up to speed on what was happening. We should have been, I think, on a better cadence as you see things that were happening in 2022, as the tools that were given to the administration would get there. So again, after the fact, there was a lot of folks talk about this. I have 7 years of proving this. I just fixed these things. And should we have fixed MNLARS before it got there? Certainly. Certainly, we shouldn't have gone through 10 years of trying to get a licensing system. But once we got there, once we figured it out, we fixed it. And I think that's true.
Let me try that again.
I think what the president did was elevated. I do believe, and I will fully own this, we should have been keeping Minnesotans more up to speed on what was happening. We should have been, I think, on a better cadence as you see things that were happening in 2022, as the tools that were given to the administration would get there. So again, after the fact, there was a lot of folks talk about this. I have 7 years of proving this. I just fixed these things. And should we have fixed MNLARS before it got there? Certainly. Certainly, we shouldn't have gone through 10 years of trying to get a licensing system. But once we got there, once we figured it out, we fixed it. And I think that's
blame on others, basically. Hopefully you can hear it. I don't know. Let's move on.
You see this man right here? This is Marvin Morales Ortiz. Marvin Morales Ortiz was previously charged with homicide, and a left-wing DA dropped the charges. Now he's in jail. There's an ICE detainer because he is, in fact, as you can imagine, an illegal alien.
That'd be a culture war.
Hours after being released, because a bunch of local politicians want a virtue signal and say, we're not going to keep criminals no matter what they did. We're not going to turn them over to ICE. So they released this guy. And now somewhere in Virginia, there's a family mourning the loss of their loved one because hours after he was released, he took another life.
It only took him a few hours to kill some more.
This, ladies and gentlemen, is why every single election matters.
Hey, Colin.
We have an abysmal...
Now, Colin, I'm hearing that England is finally deporting some people. Is that true?
...participation rate in this country that's supposed to be self-governed. Here's the thing. Get off your asses and go vote unless you condone this kind of thing. Vote if you don't want this kind of lunacy to completely take over our country, and we're dangerously close right now. That's common sense.
Yep.
What I'm about to tell you is either going to shock you or piss you off, probably both. California, Oregon, Washington, Illinois, Massachusetts, New Jersey, New York, they are all proposing legislation give all undocumented people here in this country free state-sponsored insurance. Free. Totally free healthcare. Not paying a dime. Can you imagine how that would feel? But that's not for us. No, it's not for you and I. We still have to pay those really hefty premiums and those deductibles and worry about whether our insurance company will even cover our medication and our testing and our procedures if we get sick. Do you remember when the Democrats shut our government down for 45 days in the name of affordable health care for Americans? You know, those subsidies they were fighting so hard for? They didn't give a shit. The people that went to work for a month didn't get paid, or people lost their SNAP benefits and couldn't feed their families, or, you know, we were losing infrastructure in our airspace. I mean, they didn't care about that. Our public safety, no, wasn't important to them. Healthcare subsidies for very, 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 very profitable insurance companies.
I've been watching it.
Those blue states, those sanctuaries.
Rock, is she still playing, or didn't she go to the European League? Caitlin Clark.
Cities, those blue governors that welcomed illegal migration, well, they have a little problem now, and it's going to cost you and me a shit ton. My daughter is a working mother of 4. She does everything right. She pays her taxes. She follows the rules. And for what? Her insurance deductible is $11,000 a year. Her monthly premiums are $2,800 a month. She makes $75,000 a year and doesn't see a dime of it, because that's exactly where it all goes.
Colin.
Her husband has to struggle to come up with the rest, putting a roof over their head, paying their car insurance, electric bills that have doubled,
Sadly,
groceries
true,
that are so unaffordable, taxes, etc. It is not sustainable for working families, for hardworking American working families like you, like me, like our kids.
Extra money?
If you're a hardworking American citizen, the American dream is gone. But if you've entered this country unlawfully and you're an undocumented immigrant, it lives on. Free shit for everyone on the backs of hardworking Americans. And our politicians and our media want to rebrand this bullshit as compassion. It's not compassion, it's theft. Because if it was compassion, then our veterans wouldn't be sleeping in their cars. Seniors wouldn't have to choose between groceries and their medicine. And young families wouldn't be going bankrupt just to keep a pediatrician. These blue state governors invited this immigration into these states. They wanted sanctuary cities because they wanted census numbers, they wanted voting power, and they wanted federal matching Medicaid dollars that will allow them to pay for their pet projects
and money laundering. Because they always wanted an issue so they could spend money on it and never solve the issue, so they can keep getting the money.
Inflate their goddamn budgets. They've been gambling with our money. No, they've been stealing our money, robbing us blind. Because under Obamacare subsidies, the federal government subsidized the states dollar for dollar and matched all of their Medicaid money, like a 401k for all undocumented and uninsured people. But under the big, beautiful bill, that goes away. The federal government will no longer subsidize. And
there was a big accident a couple days ago out in California where 17 people were injured. One died from it with a tractor trailer that was an illegal driver. They're just handing out the CDLs like candy to them.
Match Medicaid dollars to states for undocumented immigrants. And we're left holding the bag. We're the fucking bailout for their reckless spending, thievery. There's no getting ahead for us, for hardworking everyday people. There is no more.
The thing is, they can control third world countries. If they can make us all third world, they can control us all.
American dream. We have politicians that are writing laws that just ensure their power and their greed. And then when it blows up in their face, they call it compassion. They spin it with the media and they try to make people feel badly about wanting more for themselves when they go out and they work for it. While people are coming in here unlawfully, illegally, and getting free shit, everything handed to them on a silver platter, while our politicians lie straight to our face and tell us it's not happening. They're getting to chase the American dream, while the politicians that we elect get to crush ours.
Boy, so well said. All right, here's about 3 criminals that were arrested connected. Oh, here, I'll just play.
Estimated $14 million worth of fraud was committed by these 3 suspects. Christians Petrovsky.
Now watch this scam. They take the cards, they steal the cards, they reprogram them so they can put their information on there. So when you use them and the money goes to them.
Romuns Tisobrits, Normuns Olavikas were arrested for shoplifting and cloning gift cards in Texas.
These people were all here illegally, and they were all here specifically to commit crimes.
The men are foreign nationals from Latvia, a country in Europe. The group told investigators that they typically steal gift cards from 10 stores a day, 7 days a week, and have been actively doing so since May.
They're stealing gift cards off the
that's a good
shelf
point. If only
from various big box stores. These cards have no value when they steal them.
The thieves will then take the items to another location and carefully remove the packaging almost surgically.
The card is removed, and then the material on the back that covers up the numbers to transfer anything or activate the card is then removed so that they can see it. The numbers that are on the card are then programmed into another program that the criminals are using, which will now monitor that card.
From there, the cards are reassembled to appear as new without scratches and placed back onto store shelves for someone to buy.
As soon as it is activated and money placed onto that card, the criminals are now aware of it, but they now have the ability to transfer the money off of that card and onto another card where it is then cashed out or used to buy high-end merchandise.
We're told more than 400 gift cards were in their possession when they got arrested. We know they shoplifted from stores in cities including Austin, Dallas-Fort Worth, Houston, and San Antonio. For anyone who might have one placed under the tree,
the only way once you purchase it is to actually check to see what the balance is on that card. But unfortunately, most people are going to give it as a gift and they don't want to scratch it off to see what's on there. Beyond that, there really isn't that much you can do other than to be vigilant.
Unbelievable. Watch your stuff, I tell you. I don't know.
So President Trump just bombed northern Nigeria, and I see a lot of people from the West, Americans, engaging in a conversation that y'all don't have enough nuance to talk about, and I just want to shed some light. The Nigerian government is not to be trusted about anything that's happening to its citizens, point blank, period. This is the same government that'll set its own people on fire to heat a plate of rice. The Nigerian government said there's no Christians being killed in Nigeria. Let's even take religion out of it. Do we not remember the End SARS movement? Do we not remember the situation that happened at Lekki Tollgate where we were watching live stream footage of the Nigerian police shooting and killing young protesters, and the Nigerian government turns around and said, that's not happening? A death toll that was uncounted because the Nigerian government tried to cover it up. Do we not remember that? Do we not remember the Bring Back Our Girls movement? 276 of them kidnapped from a school in Nigeria, overwhelming majority of them being Christian. Mind you, government officials were warned 4 hours in advance and they didn't send help. And then when it happened, they still didn't send help. That's not some right-wing talking point that's been a situation since before the current administration was in office, not just the second time, but the first time. I was just in Nigeria, traveling through the East by car. I can tell you from what I saw with my own eyes, Nigeria has a problem. Just from what I saw with my own eyes, let alone everything that I've been hearing from my family back home for the past several years. This has nothing to do with the current administration, and it's actually extending beyond religion, race, tribe. The Nigerian government does not know how to take care of its people. We have a problem. I understand it's confusing because when you see posts that are talking about the violence in Nigeria, you have some Nigerians saying, yeah, it's happening and we need help. The Nigerian government isn't doing anything. And then you have others being like, I never heard anything about this. This is not true. This is a right-wing talking point. The people who are saying they haven't heard anything, I guarantee you they haven't been to the East. They haven't been to a village of any kind in a long time. North, West, East, South, doesn't matter. They probably live in the city. The people who are victims of this situation, of all of the situations of violence occurring in Nigeria that the Nigerian government is not doing anything to assist with, they are not represented on social media.
Oh, no, she lives in America. She's against what they're doing. I'm totally against it.
Who even has access to internet? When I was in the East, half of the time I was using my hotspot. There were stretches of times where I couldn't even charge my phone consistently because there wasn't any electricity. You think that they're going to be in TikTok comments talking about yeah, this is exactly what's happening. Let me live stream it. Use your common sense. And the people who live in cities, it's not like they're not victims to the Nigerian government as well. On Christmas Eve, not a couple years ago, I'm talking about this year, a couple days ago, Lagos was on fire. Lagos Island was literally on fire. A whole entire building, shops filled with people's businesses, hard work, gone up in flames. The streets were on fire because they were covered in litter. Because guess what? No waste management. And this Nigerian government, the officials are pocketing the money that they should be using to clean up Lagos. Lagos is a hot mess. It took 3 hours before they got help to put those fires out. It's really sad because America obviously has its own selfish reasons for getting involved, but the Nigerian government is not using its resources to help its people. So it's either be robbed by the U.S. or robbed by your own people.
I don't know. It'd be people in our government robbing it. All right, here's one. There's no sound to this, but it's all the fraud that's taking place in this country. Watch this. Enlarge it. It's going fast, but all these different family things and look at that. It says child care, child care, child care, child care. They use it. They use it on us. Oh, you're going to take the money away from the kids. They're stealing the money from us. That's what they're doing. Spit clean, queen. Oh, it was about the stealing that's happening over there. That's what the point was. Oh, the leadership too. They're part of the globalists, Tammy, over in UK. The leadership in UK is totally that one. And it goes on and on and on and on. I won't play it all. I'll move on to the next one. Here's Eric Spowell. Watch it. They're still in the A's. They're still in the A's. Unbelievable how much money is being stolen from us.
Congressman, it sounds like you're saying that
Watch
inherent
this piece of
contempt holding these officials.
He's a piece of crap. He says if they get back in power, they're going to impeach and drum out all of Trump's people.
And inherent contempt, or even the possible a vote on impeachment of someone like Pam Bondi.
Or restricting funding. Yeah,
or restricting funding. It sounds like, though, that may not happen until or if Democrats actually win the House in 2026. Is that right?
Yes, and so we have to telegraph that that's what we are willing to do if we are given the majority.
Board, yeah. What'd you think of that piece of crap? Oh, you can't let him back in power, I tell you that. I was like this one. This lady's pretty good.
I'm going to try to explain why white people don't have culture.
Oh, this again.
We took a bunch of people from the continent of Africa.
We
Who's the racist here, huh?
weren't around then. But
White
continue.
liberal?
In Africa, there's so many different types of culture.
Every place, every region, every continent has culture.
We stripped all those people that we took from their culture, and they had to create a new one here. And the one thing all those people had in common was the color of their skin.
Oh, she's on disability.
What we call that they created now is black culture.
So they're saying
So she gets
culture
both, right?
is based on skin tone. Okay.
The second thing that we need to understand is the construct of race.
It's all about
and what
power.
it's meant to do.
Tammy.
It's meant to oppress people of color, and it's meant to oppress specifically people who are closer to blackness.
And this is why learning history is
You really have to trust your brain into not to try to follow them, I tell you.
important. But stand by.
So the closer proximity you have to whiteness, the better you will be treated. And the more proximity you have to
How about bullshit?
blackness, you will not be treated as well.
I would like to take a brief moment to point out how the concept of race has actually changed from the time it was first utilized to the present, because it didn't always mean what it means today.
Black culture was created of us stripping people of their original culture. White culture is essentially white supremacy. It's like the opposite of black culture.
Bullcrap!
Is this coming out of some savior handbook that I'm not acquainted with? Because the very idea that any group of people, solely based on their skin tone, will have the same culture throughout a country, for instance, and the United States has over 3.7 million square miles. Think about that. They're actually trying to say that every person that shares a similar skin tone has the same culture. Seriously?
I like that one, Rock. Mandatory shock collars for liberals. And every time they're saying something that stupid, that's beyond belief.
Remember that model in LA who was screaming in the streets that she had just escaped a cannibal party? Yeah, she was never seen again after this, but that's not a real thing. They don't eat people. Well, the Human Meat Project isn't even on the dark web. Like, you can look this up. Come on, this is fake. The Cannibal Club, who focuses on the cuisine of the taboo. Humans, and this is the staff? And this is the founder, who I wasn't expecting to be a blonde white woman, but somehow it makes sense. This is one of the chefs who served an endangered bird to the president of France, Francois, on his last meal. Endangered bird? I don't think that's allowed. And here's the art director. His name is Hiro. He hires the talent to entertain guests. What type of entertainment do they have at the Cannibal Club? Well, this week is Diamanda Gala, who is a performance artist who's musical, but she also speaks in tongues. It says that she speaks in tongues. This lady. What's her background? Do you know? She's always been around music. Her father was a gospel choir director. Okay, then this has nothing to do with anything satanic. Like, she's just an artist. So what on the menu would you order? The penne pasta with meat sauce? The liver and mushroom parati? I'm not fancy enough to know how to say that. But what would you order? The placenta lasagna? I don't know. I like the Russian pierogies a lot. It's savory filling of human meat. They're paying homage to the dead, though, so I'm sure it's okay. The sirloin steak is not from an animal. No. And if they're doing this, like, in public, like, on a public page, what the do you think they're doing in private? I don't know.
I don't know. There's a lot of sick, mental ill people out there. I tell you.
How desperate and pathetic of a human being do you have to be that you hope and pray the President of the United States has done something against children? You wake up every morning and you hope evidence shows that the president has done that. You have pushed more false narratives as it relates to these documents than anything I thought was humanly possible. You whited out names and put victim to make it look like it's something it wasn't. You took pictures and blurred out the women to make it look like something it wasn't. In the latest document drop, we saw a letter that said Donald Trump has the same love for children that we do. And you celebrated it and you pushed it out and you said, see, we told you, only to find out yet again, it's a fake. It was postmarked after Epstein died. Additionally, it came from Virginia, nowhere near where either of the parties you claim were involved in that letter would have been. It's been determined and proven a fake, but yet you're still hoping and praying that Donald Trump has done something that he's never been accused of by a victim or by authorities or by their lawyers or even by Epstein and Epstein's lawyers. You continue to look at all of those documents and photos and everything released, and you refuse to look at anybody else. You're hoping and praying that the President of the United States did something wrong so you can say, I told you so and we got you.
They actually don't even need that. They just need something that they can use. That's what they want.
That's sad and pathetic.
That they can twist. They want something that they can twist.
Fox News alert, the director of national intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, releasing a bombshell report today that shows a conspiracy by a sitting president, Barack Obama, and his intel agencies to sabotage the president-elect, Donald Trump, brainwash the electorate, and undermine the legitimacy of an election.
There is irrefutable evidence that detail how President Obama and his national security team directed the creation of an intelligence community assessment that they knew was false.
I hope it's not.
They knew it would promote this contrived narrative that Russia interfered in the 2016 election to help President Trump win, selling it to the American people as though it were true. It wasn't.
Gabbard got her hands on a House intel report that's been locked away in a CIA vault for almost a decade. Investigators spent over 2,000 hours looking into how the Russia hoax was born, interviewing 20 CIA and FBI officials. And it turns out that the Obama administration doctored the intelligence to make it look like Putin and Trump stole the election. A month after Trump beat Hillary, Barack Obama wasn't satisfied with his intelligence reporting and ordered his CIA director to create a new assessment of how Russia interfered with the election. This was a highly unusual move. John Brennan handpicked 5 CIA analysts to write the assessment, and they were siloed. None of them knew what the other was doing, and only one analyst was in charge of drafting this report. There was nothing routine about this, and it was a rush job to publish before Trump was sworn in. Nothing was coordinated with the other intelligence agencies either. Basically, this was home cooking for Barack Obama. There were 4 key elements from the assessment that were repeated over and over again and formed the basis of the Russia hoax and the Robert Mueller witch hunt. 1, that
You ever see Barack Obama there play basketball? Seems pretty feminine.
Vladimir Putin wanted Donald Trump to win. 2, Putin took action to help Trump win. 3, the Russians had blackmail on Trump. That was the Steele dossier. And 4, that the Russians tried colluding with the Trump campaign. None of any of this was ever true. There was no reliable intelligence to support any of these allegations. Senior CIA officials repeatedly refused to traffic in these allegations, but they were repeatedly overruled by CIA Director Brennan and FBI Director Comey, who insisted that they be pushed, even without verifiable evidence. The Obama administration cherry-picked the intelligence, lied about their sources, misquoted sources.
He lays this all pretty good. I know we know a lot of this stuff, but he lays it out in chronological order very well.
Corroborate their claims, suppressed intelligence that ran counter to their narratives, and even used anonymous internet postings. Rank and file CIA admitted what they were doing violated their own tradecraft standards. There was a massive pressure campaign that came right from the top. CIA analysts say they received unusual directives from political appointees, the CIA director, and Obama himself. This is how the Russia hoax was born.
Donald Trump knows that the Russians helped him win in 2016.
Just seeing it, listening to her is like fingers on a chalkboard.
Putin hated Secretary Clinton so much.
Him too.
That the flip side of that coin was he had a clear preference for the person running against the person he hated so much.
It was Russia in a very systematic way in trying to interfere in the election and to try to advance the prospects of Donald Trump being elected.
This was such a malicious disinformation campaign perpetrated on the American people that at one point, 60% of Democrats believed the Russians hacked our voting machines to help Trump win the White House. What this report actually shows is that the Russians just wanted to create chaos and undermine Americans' faith in democracy. Solid intelligence suggested that Vladimir Putin didn't care who won. He had no preference. But like most people, expected Hillary to win and had a little docket of compromising dirt on her, dirt that he never released. Now, if Putin wanted Trump to win, why didn't Putin drop the dirt?
There were high-level DNC emails that detailed evidence of Hillary's, quote, psycho-emotional problems, uncontrolled fits of anger, aggression, and cheerfulness, and that then Secretary Clinton was allegedly on a daily regimen of heavy tranquilizers. Then CIA Director Brennan and the intelligence community mischaracterized intelligence and relied on dubious substandard sources to create a contrived false narrative that Putin developed a quote-unquote clear preference for Trump.
Now, if Clinton was on tranquilizers like the Russians believed, why didn't they leak it to help Trump win?
How credible was the information about Hillary Clinton's health?
All I have seen is what the Intelligence Committee have reported through their investigation. I think the underlying point there is that we understand from intelligence what Russia said that they had. And the important point here is that if they were trying to influence the election, as President Obama and James Clapper and John Brennan, everybody said they were doing in order to support Donald Trump's election, they would have released
shot collars with us having a button for it.
The most damning of that information.
Obama and his spy chiefs knew that Putin didn't prefer Trump over Hillary, but they cooked the intelligence to make it look like he did. Obama and his intel spies knew that.
I think part of that was also that Trump could not get reelected.
Putin didn't collude with Trump, and that he didn't even direct his people to help Trump win. But they put it out there anyway. In a sense, Barack Obama did exactly what Putin wanted, undermined Americans' faith in free and fair elections and caused chaos in our country.
I know I'm seeing a lot of countries that are starting to close their borders and send some people back. I don't know if it's in time, though. It's heading in the right direction. I don't know if it's in time. It might be too late. Especially
Barack Obama, the CIA, and the FBI were the ones doing what our enemy wanted.
Do you believe that any of this new information implicates former President Obama in criminal behavior?
We have referred and will continue to refer all of these documents to the Department of Justice and the FBI to investigate the criminal implications of this.
For even former President Obama?
Correct. The evidence that we have found and that we have released directly point to President Obama leading the manufacturing of this intelligence assessment. There are multiple pieces of evidence and intelligence that confirm that fact.
Even 2 years later, after the election, Barack Obama was still pushing a hoax he knew wasn't true. And he knew it wasn't true because he helped manufacture it.
They're undermining our alliances, cozying up to Russia. What happened to the Republican Party? They're cozying up to the former head of the KGB.
Liar.
Actively blocking legislation that would defend our elections from Russian attack. What happened?
Now, I don't know if it's possible to indict a former president for actions he took while in office. I'm not a lawyer,
or Barry,
proudly.
As Mark would say, I think.
But Brennan, Comey, and others may have severe liability. Trey Gowdy says we know for a fact that Brennan committed perjury when he lied to Congress.
Director Brennan, do you know who commissioned the Steele dossier?
There's still some in the second one.
I don't.
You know if the Bureau ever relied on the Steele dossier as part of any court filings, applications?
I have no awareness.
Lying.
Did the CIA rely on it?
No.
Why not?
Because we didn't. It wasn't part of the corpus of intelligence information that we had. It was not in any way used as a basis for the intelligence community assessment that was done. It was not.
Well, that's a lie. Whatever happens to these guys is not revenge.
It is a lie.
It's accountability.
It is a lie.
The question really is Brennan, Clapper, Comey, Rice, Biden, Weissman, Rosenstein, and on and on and on. When are these people being charged? It's been many months since Tulsi Gabbard declassified the documents that prove beyond a shadow of a doubt these people engaged in an extra-constitutional, illegal coup d'etat. When are their indictments? Didn't take them long to indict me on trumped-up charges. Didn't take them long to charge General Flynn. Didn't take them long to charge Donald Trump in a New York courtroom. So when will this happen?
Exactly.
So here's the headline splashed all over social media. Mid-state mom detained by ICE claims newborn taken away by DCS. And here are the details hiding all kinds of devils. Court records show Esther Lopez Sanchez was arrested alongside her boyfriend Roberto Nunez Gomez in August of 2024 for drug and firearm charges. She was pregnant when she was put in jail. Then she gave birth in a U.S. hospital to a baby who is considered a U.S. citizen thanks to birthright citizenship laws, even though both parents are here illegally. Now, given that the mom was an illegal alien arrested on drug and gun charges, the baby was placed in foster care, and Lopez Sanchez was transferred to an ICE detention facility where she's awaiting deportation. Now, see, here's the pickle that the left and the media want you to be in. If we deport the mom and keep the child here, then we're separating this poor, sweet family. But if we deport the child with the mom, then we're cruel and heartless for deporting an American child. The goal here is to get you to believe that keeping drug-dealing illegal alien felons in this country is really the only...
I want an end to it so we can stop spending our money on that crap.
Only compassionate thing to do. See, they don't want you peeking behind door number 3, where we keep illegal aliens out of this country in the first place, and we kick out people who are caught living here unlawfully even faster when they're criminals. And if the consequences of that are uncomfortable, well, you probably shouldn't have come here illegally and hooked up with a drug-dealing felon. And frankly, no baby deserves to be thrown into the middle of all of that. And I just find it funny that none of these stories are ever as cut and dry as they seem. Almost like we're being lied to.
Yeah, they also have one where the left's using this one where their little kids handcuffed by a cop, supposedly. The cop is her dad, and they were play acting, making a little video, a funny one, and the left started using that. It was bull crap. And they were saying ICE detaining her and all that crap. It was ridiculous.
Larry Doyle, Clinton Foundation whistleblower, March 12th, 2025. Just a short bit ago, Elon Musk posted a tweet that it's critical that we stop the waste, fraud, and abuse in our government. And he's right. It is critical that we stop it. How do we stop it? We not only have to expose it, but we also have to hold people accountable. Okay? And that's exactly what we're working on in our case, Doyle Moynihan versus the IRS, ongoing now 5+ years in the United States tax court. Given the trillions of dollars, okay, in this biggest scam ever, Musk is right. This is the biggest scam ever. And given the trillions of public taxpayer dollars, your money, okay, you have a right to know. There are things that we know that we feel compelled to share with you, and I'm going to start doing just that. There are plenty of things that I can't share with you simply given the fact that our case ongoing in the U.S. tax court is under seal. But there are things that we can share. Okay, starting with our Clinton Foundation whistleblower whiteboard. Okay, we made this whiteboard the extensive flow chart between, large numbers of organizations, private and public, foreign governments, foreign corporations, NGOs, in late 2018 into early 2019. Shortly after the congressional hearing that we testified at on December 13th, 2018, a mere 5 to 6 weeks later, we met with senior criminal agents of the IRS. They were so compelled by this whiteboard that shortly thereafter we made them their own copy. Okay. We also provided a copy of this whiteboard to senior congressional official in January of 2023. So people inside the government clearly have it. Do I think that that Doge actually is working off our whiteboard? Honestly, I think you can make a compelling case, but we're sharing it with you. We ask you to share it with your friends and family.
Yes,
fight on.
Exactly.
Save America.
That's where the most of the money is being milked from, and then it goes back to the Democrats' campaigns through the NGOs. Now, here's the video I was talking about. The dad was handcuffing his daughter. They were doing a video, and the left has picked that up and trying to claim it's ICE, and it's not. Watch this.
Someone tagged me in this video. Just give it a quick look.
So I'm gonna need you to explain it to me like I'm 10. I want you to really break this down to me like I'm 10 years old and tell me why ICE agents zip tying black babies in Chicago, because I can't for the life of me understand why this happened. Why was this?
It's all a lie. They were play acting. The little girl was in on it and all that. They were playing cops and robbers.
Dude, these are...
So people on the left right now are using that photo of that little boy and that guy. They're saying that it's an ICE agent arresting a child. But here's the original video.
Go Bucky! Bad boys, what you want, what you want, what you gonna do when Sheriff John Brown come for you? Tell me what you wanna do, what you gonna do.
That picture, which is my video of me and my son playing cops and robbers. Literally, this is us.
That's just a father and son playing together. They're playing cops and robbers. Here's his tag right here. He's a police officer. Pretend arresting his son. But the left has to go through such great lengths just to keep pushing their propaganda, their agenda. Saying, oh, that's ICE arresting a little boy. Like, make it make sense. And the video I got tagged in with that liberal thinking that had 50K likes. Are you guys really that gullible?
They are that. They intentionally do it too. They intentionally lie. Unbelievable.
According to the Quran, a man has the right to beat his wife. In fact, it instructs men to beat their wives if they fear disobedience or arrogance.
What is radical Islam, and how is it different from Islam? Today I fly in author and survivor Yasmin Muhammad to help explain.
I'm assuming you knew of his involvement during the marriage.
Unfortunately, I did.
In Russia, they cheated in elections too, Pat. There's been like 1 or 2 times where he could have been voted out, and they cheated enough for him to stay in power. They do have elections, but they're kind of almost as corrupt as ours. Probably not quite as bad.
Oh, you did not?
Yeah, I was married to him against my will. I was just 19. I did learn through CSIS, Canadian CIA. They're the ones that told me of his involvement with Al-Qaeda and his relationship with bin Laden and everything. And by then, I already had a daughter with him.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm so sorry you went through that.
What was the feeling when you found out?
I wasn't too surprised. He was a pretty evil person. They showed me a picture of him behind bars in Egypt, and they said, you're free. And that was the last I ever heard from them.
At 19, you had experienced that. Like, I'm so sorry to you.
Did your family know about his involvement?
Yeah. They chose him specifically because of his involvement. The way my mom put it, she needed to find a man that was strong enough to control me.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. So that's why they forced me into a marriage with a terrorist when I was
And this 19. Was in Canada, by the way.
I'm surprised that a lot of these liberal women aren't getting in their face anyways. You know?
Oh, wow. Your mom.
I'll tell you.
While y'all were together, were there like clear signs that he was an evil man?
He was so quintessentially abusive in every possible way.
Were you or your husband, I guess, like enforcing Sharia law even within Canada?
Sharia means Islamic law. You can have it within your home, within your community, and also within the country.
Okay.
So yeah, my home was a Sharia bubble, but I'm in Canada.
Your husband would beat you justifying it under Sharia law, right? Yeah. I read that in your book.
Yeah. That's correct, because according to the Quran, chapter 4, verse 34, a man has the right to beat his wife. In fact, it instructs men to beat their wives if they fear disobedience or arrogance.
And this was in Canada?
This was in Canada, yeah.
How did you get out?
It was not easy. It took a very long time. I was in the hospital I had a miscarriage. I told him it was going to take me a week to get better and that I needed to go to my mom's house. And I knew it would be easier to get away from my mom's house than it would be to get away from him. When she went to work, I went to a lawyer and I said, I need full custody.
William, your bad weather came here.
Custody of my daughter, I need a divorce, and I need a restraining order ASAP. And that's in a secular country. That's in a free country. That's in Canada. So you can just imagine women like me in the similar situation in Afghanistan, and Sudan, and Somalia, and Saudi Arabia, you know, Pakistan. It's way, 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 way harder.
I'm sorry you went through that. I can't even imagine it.
How much of the Islamic world is this happening?
Well, this is very common. Egypt, Morocco, in the States, all over the place. Yeah, France, Sweden, Germany, Canada,
Coming to America,
UK.
keep letting them.
Yeah, it's a very common tactic.
Why are there so many radical Islamists in the Middle East?
The thing about the England thing, whatever's happening there is coming to America. It's just happening there first.
Fleeing what's happening because of radical Islam, and then they come to the West to spread it. Like, what is that about?
Well, first of all, they're not fleeing radical Islam. That's the first thing.
Okay. Right.
They want better housing. They want better education, better social services.
They want the perks of democracy, but they also want to see its downfall.
You're 100% correct. That's exactly what I grew up in. They believe that the whole planet should be Muslim.
And is that in the Quran?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that's a mainstream belief.
Would you say Hamas and Al Qaeda are one of the same?
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
Why do you think no one's talking about trying to give a better life to the Palestinians without Hamas as their government?
Those kids that are becoming Hamas supporters or Hamas terrorists are celebrated east and west. Whether it's on TikTok or whether it's in their mosques, people are like, good for you, kill the Jews.
We're acting like Hamas is a resistance group and not Al Qaeda. How do you think we got here?
I think that 9/11 was a long time ago and a lot of people are not paying attention.
We said never forget, but I do think people are forgetting.
We get comfortable.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the Palestine-Israel conflict? I know it's very controversial. I know on the Palestine side, the government is kind of similar. What's your view on this?
My father is from Gaza, so I very much was born and raised into this. The goal here is to eradicate Israel, to eradicate all Jews. And in fact, there's a hadith, which is an Islamic doctrine, that talks about how when there is a war between the Muslims and the Jews will be hiding.
I say, quit giving both sides money.
Behind the trees and behind the rocks. And the trees and the rocks will speak and they'll say, oh Muslim, there is a Jew hiding behind me. Come kill him.
Oh my gosh.
So it's an ideology that very much is interested in the genocide of Jewish people. It's not interested in progressing Palestinian people. We can see that by the billions of dollars.
Really, they just want to kill us all.
There's funding that have gone to them. They didn't use it to further their own people and to uplift their own people. They used it to build tunnels.
Yes.
To continue their terrorism.
It's just so interesting to me. Seeing from your side is insane to me.
Are you in college?
I am in college.
Where do you go, NYU?
I do.
Have you had professors that demonize Israel?
They will typically lean towards Palestine rather than anything. So,
Right. And why do you think...
Tell me, that's got to be a trans. It's got to be.
They ignore the radical Islam elephant in the room, that Hamas, which is pretty much the exact same thing as Al Qaeda.
Stop giving both sides money. I'm not giving them Israel or Hamas some money.
Qaeda fundamentally attacked Israel because they say themselves they want to kill Jews worldwide.
On education.
Using your voice and platform for this is something that's very incredibly brave. What's the thing that people should get the most out of your circumstance? What could you tell other young women, other young people who might find themselves in similar situations?
For people here in the West,
a lot of that stops when we stop handing them money.
In general, I would ask them to be just as generous with their criticism of Islam as they are of any other ideology. When they see misogyny,
we can look to England and Europe to see what's coming here if we don't stop it.
Speak out against it. You see homophobia, speak out against it. Don't say, well, I can't speak out against it from these folks because that would be bigoted or racist or Islamophobic or whatever. But I can only criticize it when it comes from these folks over here, right?
Well, thank you so much for speaking with us. Appreciate it.
It's great meeting you.
I feel so blessed to have this conversation with you.
I am so glad that you stopped and spoke to me.
You're amazing.
Usually a liberal would attack them.
Give me a hug.
Yes.
You're awesome.
God bless you. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you. Take
that
care.
Guy's gay. No doubt about that one.
Now the federal government is getting involved here. House Oversight Committee, it's widening its probe, inviting state lawmakers to come testify and other federal departments to investigate. So let's bring in now Chairman James Coper. He leads the charge over at Oversight, and he joins us now. Good morning to you. Tell us about who you're bringing in, who you want to see on Capitol Hill, and what questions do you want to ask?
Charles, I think a Zionist technically is anyone who just believes in Jewish or being Israel, an Israel country, I think. To me.
Ask them.
Well, the most important people are the.
So I don't see anything wrong in that necessarily. You know, I don't believe in them necessarily going out and attacking others either. You know,
state whistleblowers, the state employees who put that tweet out that we all are familiar with a few weeks ago that alerted America to the massive fraud. These state employees also allege that they had warned both Governor Walz and Attorney General Ellison for years that this fraud was occurring, and yet nothing was taking place. So we're going to bring the state employees in. We're going to get their sworn testimony. We appreciate their bravery in coming forward. We're also going to bring in state lawmakers and Minnesota mayors because the walls are caving in on Tim Walz.
I hope so.
This massive amount of fraud is affecting and impacting every citizen of Minnesota.
No, Tim Walz is running for re-election up there. Do you think there's any possible way he can get re-elected with all this fraud and stuff being exposed right now? I think he's up for in 2026 here. This year, end of this year.
Because they're having to cut services because so much of the money for social programs was wasted and defrauded by this Somali population. So these are the people we're going to bring in. We're going to try to identify who was responsible for this. We're going to try to identify banks that we can subpoena their bank records so we can follow the money to see how much was taken, who took it, and then who do we need to hold accountable. And hopefully we'll have some criminal referrals at the end of the
How about us getting our money back?
The investigation.
What is so fascinating about this, Chairman Comer, is how
then our health care bills can go down.
No one knew. Or did they know? This is an op-ed from the Wall Street Journal here, asking, I think, a pretty fair question. When nearly $250 million can vanish from one state program before anyone truly notices, taxpayers are justified in asking who was supposed to be minding the store. The uncomfortable answer is that no one elected by the people held that responsibility or held the mandate and clout to stop the scheme. You know, your whip, Tom Emmer, says there's no way that Governor Tim Walz didn't know or somebody in his administration didn't have an inkling that there was something going on. Do you agree with that? And how do you prove that?
I agree completely. Look, Tom Emmer was a state legislator in Minnesota before he came here. He has the pulse of Minnesota. He communicates regularly with Minnesota state legislators and Minnesota state employees. They've been talking about this for years. There was a congressman that came in from Minnesota when I came in 9 years ago to Congress named Jason Lewis. He was talking about the massive fraud from the Somali population 9 years ago. So this is something that's been talked about in Minnesota for a long time. The Minnesota media is very
Didn't all these Somalians come in during Obama's time? Correct me if I'm wrong in chat. When did most of the Somalians come in?
Liberal, so they're never going to write anything bad about a beloved Democrat like Tim Walz or Keith Ellison. So finally, the state employees have stepped forward publicly and talked about this massive amount of fraud. And I can tell you from our preliminary discussions with these state employees, it is a significant amount of money. And remember, Minnesota isn't a big state. So when you're talking about billions of dollars for a small state, that is a significant percentage of the budget for welfare in that state.
Should the governor resign? Are you calling on him to resign?
Well, not yet. He deserves due process, and we're going to give him due.
In a way, I hope he runs for re-election and loses horribly, and they lose a lot of seats up there.
Process. One of the things he said in the last 48 hours was that the Oversight Committee didn't need to worry about this investigation, that he would take care of it. I mean, no one in America believes that. That is a joke. We are going to investigate this. The key to a good congressional investigation is having whistleblowers. And fortunately for us, we have some state employees who have bravely stepped forward. We're going to get them under oath, and they're going to tell us everything they know, and we're going to go from there. Wherever the investigation leads us, we will go. We're going to try to do it as rapidly as possible. But I think at the end of the day, the American taxpayers, and especially the taxpayers in Minnesota, are going to be sick at their stomach, and Tim Walz is going to have a lot of explaining to do.
Okay. Chairman Comer, thanks for joining us on this holiday week. We hope you have a very safe and Merry Christmas.
Boy. All right, here's how MSNBC's covering it and the type of guests they have on about the Somali fraud. Watch this.
The question is, why is this a priority in a different kind of way?
Billions of dollars.
The politicization of the DOJ and the FBI is undeniable. So whether they are reliable narrators.
Look who's talking about politicization of the FBI after all the J6ers and that.
Is the big question. And this is what happens when you weaponize and politicize federal agencies that are not meant to be, politicized. And I think the American people are right to ask the question, well, can we trust you? And that's a sad thing to say as an American. Let's recall, too, that there's also...
No, we can't trust you.
Other scandals in other states, for example, the Mississippi welfare scandal. And this is not unique to politics. Americans know that. But of course, the other factor here is that because it looks like the Somali population in Minnesota, the Somali immigrant population may have been at involved in some way. Those people are being scapegoated, and that community is being scapegoated in a way that certainly serves the far right. And so that's also something to
it's all because of the far right.
Keep an eye on, and that's inappropriate. Absolutely.
They had to twist it around that way, one way or the other.
It's done. A packed room at the St. Paul Armory erupted after the governor's signature made driver's license for all.
They handed out free driver's license to all illegals, even the truck drivers that are driving on the road, and they're getting these licenses like candy. They aren't even really taking tests to drive on the roads. So these illegals are driving on the road with no driver's test. And they can't read the English and the signs and all that. But they're going to get to vote, and that's what's important to them. More than anything. But they'll be taking taxpayer dollars to keep them dependent on the government, so they keep voting for the Democrats for generations.
Of the land.
So we give driver's licenses to anyone here. You don't have to be a citizen. You don't have to, which is a photo ID. So if someone comes in, they register, they have the driver's license, but they have an incorrect social or no social or whatever. So then they become incomplete. But if they walk in to vote with their driver's license, does that make them all of a sudden now okay?
Mr. Linnell.
Madam Chair, so the designation on the roster for someone whose registration had been incomplete, if they present the election judge with that acceptable identification document, that would clear the challenge from the roster and they would be permitted to cast a ballot.
So they're illegal.
Anderson.
So they're illegal, but they can cast a ballot. Since he signed this up here just to get hundreds of thousands of more voters.
Well, okay,
illegal.
There's your problem, potentially. So, thank you.
So just to clarify, someone who is not a citizen but presents a driver's license at that point in the process could be permitted to vote.
Madam Chair, at the time of registration, as well as at the time of submitting a ballot, every voter is signing the attestation affirming their eligibility to vote, including that they meet all eligibility requirements, that they are a U.S.
So when you get your license, you register to vote.
U.S. citizen.
They're probably voting in their name often for them. Unbelievable. All right, here's Sheriff of Ruston in Minnesota, Crybaby. Here you'll see. The illegals.
Y'all can't do anything. Y'all can't do anything. You guys had to call the sheriff.
I put that thing up as down his throat.
Because the sheriffs are the only ones who can do anything. And MPD's not supposed to help you. You guys called MPD because you were scared. You guys can't do anything. You guys can't do anything. You can't do anything. Can't do anything to us. So you gotta pick on people. You gotta pick on the people who are susceptible. You gotta pick on
Watch him cry like a baby when he gets arrested.
Constitutionally protected as us. Yeah.
He's going to regret that.
That's right, pussy bitch. Back your ass up, fucker. See you later, fuck boy. See you, fucking loser. Hey, Chevrolet boy, you're...
This leftist, oh, I wish I was there.
You're fucking disgrace to Wisconsin, you know that, you fucking trog? Fucking loser. Fucking pussies. Fucking pussies. Fucking pussies! Fucking pussies! Fucking pussies! Fucking pussies!
Sorry about his language.
Oh shit, all right, actually. Fucking losers! Fuck you, fuck you, fucking losers! Fucking pussies! Fucking Nazis!
I wonder how much they're making doing this.
Fucking Nazis! Fucking Nazis!
They are arresting him!
Yeah, they are arresting him. They are arresting him. You're getting in front of ICE agents and trying to stop from their duties.
Observing.
Hey, you three! Name the badge number! Make sure you don't forget! Hey, on your way out! Name and badge number! Each and every one of you! Fulton County Sheriff!
That's why it's not more than that, Mark or Rock. Yeah, that's Wisconsin. These Democrats.
You're a fucking disgrace, you know.
Are desperate to keep these illegals here. They're desperate.
Know that? Fucking losers!
If I remember this video, I think he ends up getting arrested.
He's legally observing, you sad fucks! ICE has no fucking spine, so you do their fucking dirty work, you complicit fucking losers!
They're doing their job. That guy needs to be shut up.
Fucking sad fucks! Fucking losers! Fucking losers! Fucking losers! Fucking losers!
Shame on you.
Minnesotans my fucking ass!
Dad, I'm glad I had the parents I did. They were very loving. Yeah.
You fucking degenerates!
Hennepin County Sheriff.
This doesn't end. I remember it doesn't end well for this guy.
Fucking losers! 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 Fucking loser!
I don't know. If it was me, I couldn't take that bull crap.
Name a badge number, fuck boys! Come on, you sad fucks! Fucking losers! Fucking losers! Fucking losers! Fucking losers! How do you like doing ICE's dirty work? How do you like being little bitches, you sad fucks, huh?
If they're proceeding, blocking their path of doing what they have to do, then they do get elected.
Yeah, fuck boy! You like that shit, you sad fucking loser? Do not police how I protest. Do not police how I protest. Fucking losers! Fucking losers! Fucking losers. Do not police how I protest. Do not police. Do not police how I protest. Do not police how I protest. You are. We are done talking.
Even another protester is telling them to stop. Yeah, I know. Don't they have jobs, right? I hope he goes horse. He's a little soy boy. Yeah, he needs it. I agree. If I remember, in the end, he gets arrested here.
More fucking sheriff fuck boys.
That guy needs an attitude.
He got arrested, yeah. Our guy in the Mini Cooper got arrested. They bucked him.
Mini Cooper is being abducted. Why is he being abducted?
By the sheriffs, but even then.
He stepped out of line.
More fucking losers!
Why is he being abducted?
And more of you are going to get arrested. You keep it up.
What's going on?
Oh, if they try to kill us, just go out this way.
Look at these assholes.
Look at these fucking losers.
Look at these assholes.
Look at these fucking complicit losers sucking on ice cock, you sad fucks.
Look at these assholes.
Fuck these fucking losers.
Looks like the boss.
These are fucking losers. Look at these sad fucking degenerates.
You know what?
Fucking losers. Fucking.
Let that person go.
I hope they do hire many more ICE agents. That there's so many out there that they can't field enough protesters to stop them and run things that block them.
Oh, what are you guys doing? Let him go.
Interference.
And you fucking know it. You're just being complicit to ICE, you sad fucking losers.
Following a police vehicle is legal.
The Democrats are running out of money.
Watching police is legal. All of this is legal. Let our guy go. What the fuck
Yeah,
are
they
you
don't have a
doing,
clue.
assholes?
The fuck are you doing? You're breaking the fucking law.
He was being legal. He was legally here. He was not kicked off of the property. So let him fucking go.
Let him go.
Let him
go.
Yeah, but then bye-bye. To jail you go.
Let him go. Let him go.
Name and badge number.
Name and badge number, you fuck. Name and badge number. Name and badge number. Name and badge number.
The thing is, they've already given him earlier on before they were recording. They gave him that stuff, and they keep asking for it.
Name and badge number. Name and badge number. Name and badge number. Name and motherfucking badge number. Name and badge number. Name and
They're like
badge
the
number.
little kids that have a tantrum, you know what I mean?
Name and badge number. Name and badge number.
Reminds me of the little kids that get down on the floor and pout, you know?
Name and badge number. Name and badge number. Name and badge number. Name and badge number. Name and badge number.
Yeah, Google sometimes off.
Name and badge number. Name and fucking badge number. Why the fuck would I touch you, loser? Name and badge number.
He's gonna get himself arrested.
Name and badge number. Name and badge number. Name and badge number.
What happened to the noise pollution?
Name and badge number. Name and badge number.
I'm conservative too, Rock. Looks like a restaurant used to
You
go
guys are
to.
fucking complicit. You fucking know it.
That means they're doing their job. They're not left
Name
wingers.
and
That's
badge
why.
number. Name and motherfucking badge number. Good. You guys are fucking losers, man. Fucking losers.
Doesn't he remind you of the little kids that have the tantrum?
Do your effing jobs.
What were they doing?
What the fuck were they doing wrong?
It's one of the things that probably
You're just fucking playing fucking pussy bitch for ICE.
101.
They were preventing ICE from doing its job.
Name and badge number, buddies. You guys literally work for us. You guys literally work for us. Name and badge number.
Yeah, and they're doing the job.
I have their name and badge numbers on video.
Good. Okay, good.
No, I'm recording them.
And what good is that going to do you? What are the cops doing wrong?
They're not trying to
I
actually
don't see
do their
anything
job.
they're doing wrong.
They're sucking off ICE's cock like the fucking losers they are.
It's incredible. It's incredible. It's incredible. It's incredible.
You think they'd burn out after a while?
Do your jobs.
I got anything better? Did you see that ICE was making them? I loved it. ICE was making an arrest on Christmas.
None of that. None of that. None of them are identifying themselves.
Throat punch.
None of them. Not
Oh,
even
they're
the
doing some
Somali
good.
dude. Bro.
As it gets colder, I doubt they'll be out there.
Stop being a race traitor, bro.
What'd he do, fuckboy? What'd he do? What fucking loser? Fucking loser! Fucking loser! Fucking loser! Fucking
You think they'd have something better to do?
loser! Fucking loser! Fucking loser! Fucking loser! Fucking loser!
I hope one of those cops turn around and arrest him.
Name and badge number, bro. You guys are gonna get in trouble. You guys are gonna get in trouble.
They just detained a legal observer. They just detained a legal observer.
Got to keep those illegals here to vote for their socialism.
In trouble. You guys just broke the law. Broke the law.
Yeah, they need to be put down.
They just detained
Like a wild rabbit animal,
They
huh?
just detained a legal observer.
I got you.
2,000. That's a good number.
Fuck you, asshole.
They got to go into the Somalia areas. They got some up in Maine. Got some still in North Carolina.
Fuck you.
Tons in California.
You're breaking my heart here, bro. You're Somali. You're Somali, bro. You're breaking my heart, man.
Traitor!
You're all fucking nuts.
They're detaining him at Whipple.
Bye-bye. Going to jail.
Unbelievable.
They need to hold him more in a few hours, too. When they take him to jail, they need to hold him for a good, day or so.
This is
At least.
unbelievable.
Hey, asshole. Fuck you. Release him.
Fucking losers!
They detained a legal observer.
And they're taking him to the federal building.
They detained a legal
To the federal
observer.
building. You're breaking the law.
They detained a legal observer and we're taking him to the federal building. They detained a legal observer, and they're taking him to the federal building.
That's not observing. That's blocking their doing
They
their thing.
detained a legal observer, and they're taking him to the federal building.
Maybe that's where they're arresting him.
Fuck you too.
Fuck you, Nazi. I'll be seeing you around, fuck boy. See you
I guess we're all German.
See you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you, pussy bitch. They just detained somebody who was legally observing. Yeah.
Not legally observing.
They just detained somebody who was legally observing. Yes, yes.
They're all working together.
Excellent.
White liberals. All college educated.
I think that's enough for that.
Indoctrinated. Yeah. We'll see what happens when it gets colder.
So guys, this is absolutely mind-blowing. So I was watching the most recent video by Nick Shirley exposing these daycare centers. Now, they're going daycare to daycare, and the next one that they go to...
This is great. Watch what he calls. Watch.
Is called Sweet Angels, Sweet Angel Childcare. This is where they show up to. And this is the business right here.
He is rabid.
Sweet Angel Childcare.
Chuck?
And
that would work great.
Minneapolis,
I hope
Minnesota.
He goes hoarse.
Now, listen to where this phone number goes to when you call this childcare center.
Oh, he's great. So, yeah. Takes a minute to get through. He's supposed to be, he's calling the number for the daycare. Watch where this phone call goes.
Just wait for it.
Thank you for contacting the office of Governor Tim Walz and Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan.
Tim Walz. The call goes to Tim Walz.
Our office is located at 130 State Capitol at 75 Reverend.
Oh my!
I like some of your
God.
ideas in chat.
I'll do it again. Sweet Angel Childcare. It goes to Governor Tim Walz's office. Why is a child care center directly going to the office of the governor? Make it make sense. Hold on.
Thank you for contacting the office of Governor Tim Walz and Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan.
If this is not a direct link to Tim Walz and these fraudulent child care centers, I don't know what else is. Bro, this is crazy. I'm just in shock right now. I was recording a YouTube video and reacting to this video, and I was like, let me call and look up their Google reviews. I was just looking up their Google reviews, and I was like, let me call this number. And I call it, and it goes to Governor Tim Walz's office. Make that make sense.
He's in on it.
Breaking news. Immigration and ICE are going to start targeting employers with civil and criminal penalties for hiring illegal immigrants in the next phase of their immigration enforcement. Yes, that's correct. So now, not just the employees are going to be targeted at job sites, but the employers who've actually hired these people are now facing civil and criminal charges and penalties, which means fines, recouping some of the money that we've spent. All I know is the administration has just now made an announcement that they are going to start targeting the employers of all these different industries that actually have been employing illegal immigrants. One of the major key points, DoorDash. This
is the way to stop it. This is the way to stop it. The ones that are hiring them.
Going to see a significant cut in their workforce because they use a lot of them. You know, and it's not just people that are documented or undocumented. Realize this, with all of these ICE raids just sweeping people up and detaining them for weeks at a time, most immigrants just are afraid to go out and work. Construction sites in Florida.
Yep.
You can film, but stay here. No. That's not right. No, it's not good. Do not pass this perimeter. Do not pass this perimeter.
You're harassing in front of the children. What kind of law that? What law you following?
Yeah. Leave a message asking about child care there on his thing. That would work. Dumber than her. That was hard to do, Rock. It was hard, but maybe she did it.
I'm telling you, you don't have a red vest.
I hope he runs for election and loses his ass real bad.
I can't defend him because we're not giving him your qualifications.
It's a good idea. Call the number, leave a message. Ask him about childcare. Get some quotes for him. Is that any English there? Now they're screaming racism. You're here illegally. I don't care what race you are.
It doesn't matter. But
you have no. If you have no borders, you have no country.
You're kidnapping the man in front of his children. What kind of a...
Again, that's not my
You don't have a means.
Is he the person that you're looking for? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes. You can simply answer my question.
He's illegal. That's what they're looking for. Illegals.
Is he the person that you're looking for? You were looking for an individual. He's not here. That's not him. Then he's allowed to be free. But now you're just...
If he's illegal, he gets arrested.
Is that
You don't have a right
That's how fishing works. You look for a specific name that is not him. That's not him.
Could y'all come away from the cars, please?
And then
Could y'all come over here? You can film, but come away from the cars. Thank you.
You're very
Come away from the cars over here.
What you're doing is just targeting
Come away from the cars over here.
That's what you're doing.
Go to download it.
Yeah, you look like him, right? And then when you find out that it's the wrong person, you still have him in the car. Isn't he allowed to be free now?
If he's illegal, he goes.
They
also want to make sure they got the right person.
I'll listen. Go ahead.
If we're wrong, we let go.
You're wrong.
No, hold on.
I saw him put on the phone. He's the wrong person.
Let's just tell you. If we're wrong, we'll leave. If we're not, he goes with us. That's his claim to get. Hold on. If we're wrong, he will stay. If we're not, he comes with us. That's as plain as we can get it. If you want to film, you can. We're not going to argue.
I'm not sure. I heard he might.
We just ask you for our safety.
It'd be cool if he did. And it'd be great if he became governor there. Things would get straightened out. I guarantee you the budget there would be managed a lot better.
We're not trying to argue with you. We're not trying
I've run as low as 60, Rob.
We already know what's
not
going
even just 80.
on out here, right? We're trying to be reasonable. Please be reasonable with us. So for your safety and ours, can you film right here? Let us conduct our investigation.
Hey, Jeff.
Stay over here in this perimeter. Okay? Do that over here. Let us get down. When we're done, if we're wrong, you stay.
Okay,
Speak some English. This is the last video I see. I don't have enough time to do another one after this. Lucas, okay. Yeah, left tries to say the Jesus at the manger thing when he was born. One that didn't have border laws too. He couldn't get in the hotel because it was full. That's why they stayed out in the manger, out in the barn. Okay, I'm running out of time here, so I'm going to end it there. I should be on tomorrow. Game plan is to be on about 5-ish, give or take a little, okay? 5 p.m. Eastern time. God bless everyone. Merry Christmas, belated, and Happy New Year. I might do something soon on the Happy New Year. I'm thinking of doing the Best of Karen again. We'll see. I'm getting a few of those. All right, take care. God bless. Bye-bye.